What is up, you guys? Saint Riot, and today I wanted to talk about the Dark Souls 3 Ringed City DLC, but I didn't want to put it in a stream of consciousness invasions. I have to talk about it, obviously, but I didn't want to put it in a stream of consciousness invasions just so I could keep them spoiler free. Uh, so here's a video of Constable Saint Riot who has found Kos, y'all. He found religion. He's an executioner now. This is a strength arcane build, and I am fighting Yharnam, the Thumerian Queen. This is my second attempt at her. The first attempt, she must have been bugged or something. I don't know. She got me in her little Murgo cries, and you're paralyzed. She got me with that, but then she just wouldn't let go of me. So she got like 2 or 3 attacks off, and voided. Poor Constable Riot, Executioner Riot now, I guess. Anyway, the video doesn't matter. You can just watch me get my ass whipped by Yharnam while we talk about the Ringed City DLC, and I managed to keep Stream of Consciousness Invasions spoiler free. So, hype. All aboard the hype train. I'm trying to temper my expectations, but the fact that the trailer starts off with a Londor Pilgrim, immediately we know that this is going to be a like a Londor themed DLC, maybe not all the way through, and actually I hope it's not all the way through, because there's plenty of stuff we want to learn about besides just Londor, and I'm hoping that we'll get all of that from this final DLC, this final piece of Dark Souls that we're going to get until Miyazaki gets bored of making games that aren't Dark Souls and he comes back to it eventually. But, yeah, the trailer starts off with Londor Pilgrim. People on the fucking Dark Souls General on 4chan are like, oh, we were supposed to get Londor. It is Londor. What the fuck's wrong with you? Have you not seen all the fucking Sword of Vowels? And there's a Londor Pilgrim, like, right off the bat. She's our narrator for the trailer. Come on. Very obviously Londor themed. What's cool is we get to see, it's called Dreg Heap, and that is the name we can now give to that area around the kiln. When you go to beat the game, fight the Soul Cinder, and you see everything just kind of meshed in together, we get to actually explore that, which is cool as shit. We get to see some insects, which I think is going to be talking about the deep, for real, for real. It says that when a city falls, if you guys looked at Kamundi's promotional art that they posted on Facebook, and I think he posted it on Reddit as well, it says that when a city falls to the abyss, that locusts will appear and eat everything, which is cool. The deep, we might get some answers there, looking forward to that. And then it shows us the Sable Church, which is just covered in swords of avowal, as is the Ringed City itself. Which the promotional material calls it a traditional city for a pit. Basically, it says it's a pygmy city, which is super fucking cool. I have long held that the bosses of Dark Souls are not big, just that our player character is small because he's descendant of the third of pygmy. Basically, a different race. I always called the big guys, Ornstein, Artorias, those kind of guys. I always referred to them as lords. Which is just kind of a generic term. I don't have any like real deal lore behind that, but I've always referred to them as lords. And the humans they're humans, but you know, they're pygmies, they're small. So we get to see this Dreg Heap kind of grand archives with like some creepy crawly fucking enemy, which again, I'm hoping that's more deep shit, because that's one thing more than I want Londor, I want deep. I want information on the deep. Don't get me wrong, I totally want all the Londor stuff, but the deep is also something that just, I mean, look, we're playing Bloodborne. That shit calls out to me on a primal level. H.P. Lovecraft is my spirit animal, you know, that kind of thing. So we see the new items, the lightsaber sword and the lightning bow, and what was the other thing it showed? Oh, the banner. I'm not sure the banner is, I mean, maybe it's a miracle, but it might just be a sort of, hey, here's how you meet the NPC or something kind of thing. But it is interesting that if you guys, I've already watched like Ashen Hollow, Vadi, Mitch L. I've watched all these guys' lore breakdowns of this fucking trailer already. I don't know if you guys have as well, or I assume some of you probably have if you're as dorked out about this shit as I am. But that banner that we place on the ground has the Lothric symbol that the winged knights have on their tunics with the twin dragons. So could be a miracle, could be something we use to talk to an NPC. I'm leaning kind of more towards miracle because it shows us that what appears to be a weapon and then another weapon or a bow spell or something. But yeah, so maybe we'll get some more answers about Lothric. Then we see the big huge giant guy whose name is on the promotional art, but I've already forgotten it. A lot of people theorizing that it's going to be Allfather Lloyd, which could make sense if Lloyd means gray, which is what everyone's saying. And the promotional description of this guy definitely fits that. Definitely fits. It checks off all the criteria to be Allfather Lloyd. Then we also see the sort of angelic-looking insect winged fucking horror that's like hanging out around the massive roots and trees. Something tells me that's. I want to lean towards that's an angel, quote unquote. But it also has, very insect-like wings, which, sort of points me towards the deep. But, you guys, if you've been watching my stream of Consciousness Invasions, you're aware of my theory that the bat-winged demons are the angels that the Lothric religion used, worshipped. And we actually get to fight a greater bat-winged demon in this DLC. So I feel like one way or another, I'll know if I'm right or wrong. And I'm just excited for that. I don't really give a shit if I am right or wrong. I'm just excited that I get to actually find out. You know what I mean? But I think it's super cool that we do get to fight that bat-winged demon. Apparently it was cut content. I'm really hoping they like update the Souls item description and don't just leave it with, what is already in the base game from the files. I want to see something else attached to it. So, we see what appears to be a woman clad in white. There's some kind of darkness gathering around her eyes. She's holding some kind of egg, it looks to be. I want to say Gertrude, just because of the eyes. I'm not even going to speculate, because I'm going to temper my expectations. I'm not going to speculate. And then we get to see the Batwing Demon, which, again, I'm super fucking hyped for that, because that means, one way or another, we'll figure out something on the Batwing Demons. God, I'm so fucking... Ooh, temper those expectations, baby boy. Temper. I've run a little long, so I've added a clip of Constable Riot fighting the Orphan of Kos. This took for fucking ever. It's worth it though. It's fun. Yeah. So I think I touched on everything that the DLC trailer shows. But yeah, the idea of the Drake Heap area and all the insect kind of stuff we see definitely gives me demon vibes. So, or not demons, I'm sorry. Definitely gives me deep vibes. The floating insect with the angelic insecty wings gives me deep vibes. All the promotional art that we get to see, the pygmy city with the Sword of Avowals everywhere, that's awesome. Dark Soul of Man, we might finally get to figure out what the fuck's going on with that. Was Manus the furtive pygmy, that kind of thing. Also, I thought it was really cool that Kamundi on Reddit posted that they had heard the criticisms about the Ashes of Ariandel DLC, so there would be more than 2 bosses. I mean, even if it's 3 bosses, that's better. But what I'm more excited about than anything is the fact that we might actually get to, and it's not even really a might, I feel like it's pretty obvious, we're going to get to explore more than one area. I was super satisfied with the Painted World as far as the area went. It was great. Um, a lot of different stuff. You get the big tundra. You move forward, and you find the church. You move forward. You work down the tree root system. You get to what eventually becomes the frozen lake. You work your way around. You get into the shit. I'm watching this video, so I want to call it the fishing hamlet. You guys know what I'm talking about. The Corvian settlement. Um, the Corvian settlement was cool. Uh, and then work your way through the basement of that. I'm sorry, you go back up the mountain, then work your way through the basement of that, back into the cathedral, the church. That was really good. Saying nothing about the bosses, that was really good. But it was, one area. So I'm really excited at the prospect of us starting at the Dreg Heap, which is where all of the worlds come together, getting to explore that a little bit, and then making our way to the actual Ringed City. So I'm really hoping the Batwing Demon is kind of a Sanctuary Guardian type boss, where you beat him to gain access to the Ringed City, as opposed to him being the big huge boss. I really hope they haven't showed us the big boss yet. I don't want to know anything about him, and I'm trying my hardest to convince myself not to watch the second trailer if and when one comes out. We know one will come out. I don't want to see the last boss I'm ever going to fight until I get there. Then I want to see it. You know what I mean? As far as all the new stuff, they need to give spells some more options. Obviously, I think as far as PvP is concerned, and hopefully it's not bullshit like Way of the White Corona, stuff that does no damage, just laughably bad. I was a fan of the floating chaos enough that I put it on my pyromancer build, but I use it for invasions. I don't think I've ever taken that guy into the arena. I'm not sure how well that spell would fare in the arena, because it's pretty narrow. It's great for invasions because it hits multiple people. It basically gives you a space that you can work in freely against multiple opponents, because nobody wants to get hit with the little fireballs. But in a duel, I don't know how useful it would be. But basically what I'm saying is I hope they give... It looks like, if you looked at the promotional art, they have the Pyromancer's fan, the Desert Sorceress fan from Dark Souls 2. And I think that's going to end up being the Pyromancer's version of Magic Greatsword, where you cast it and your catalyst turns into a huge greatsword and you kind of swing it 180 degrees around you. I think that's going to be the Pyromancer version of that spell. Also, Desert Sorceress fashion hype. I know a shit ton of people really want that set. I don't know why, but I'm happy for you if you get it. That big, huge, curved greatsword that the humanity-headed knight is wielding looks really cool. I've seen a lot of people say that his armor looks like a human effigy. To me, it looks more like a system of roots, but we'll know soon enough. I really think that as I've been doing these lore invasions, I'm really starting to rethink my position on pyromancy in the actual lore of the game, because the entire series is about fire and dark, and pyromancers are sort of this gateway into humans learning about fire. And we read all these item descriptions about the witches taking on human pupils and hoping that the humans will be able to control the fire, as if to imply the witches themselves or the lords could not. Chaos is augmented by humanity, which I think there's definitely that's what happens when humanity meets the flame. It becomes chaos. So there's definitely some stuff there. Roots have always signified, I don't know, I'm way off track. Man, we'll figure it out together, and I'm super hyped. What are your guys' thoughts? I want to talk to you guys about this shit. That's why I uploaded a video. So let me